We are tonight's entertainment.
What the fuck is this, Chet?
This is a tasty burger.
Were you rushing or were you dragging?
You like Huey Lewis in the news?
Is this your homework, Larry?
Why just spill your beans?
Welcome back
To the film school.
to the Jolly Scoop.
Oh shit! I forgot that was it's time for that.
The
yeah.
Christmas Scoop.
The Christmas scoop.
This episode isn't Christmas related, but it's still December. It's still December, so it's still the Jolly Scoop.
I'm glad you ripped the Band-Aid off early.
Yeah. Maybe next week we'll have more of a festive theme.
Yeah, we do need to go ahead and dive right on into the old Xmas stuff.
Yeah, but you know, things came up. There's been some new releases that need to be discussed. There's some older movies that we just felt like watching that need to be discussed. So, can you blame us?
We're just, at the end of the day, we're just a couple guys.
We're just guys. All
Yeah.
right, just
And
guys being dudes.
We're trying to get ours just like anyone else, you
Yep.
know.
It's
We put our
not
pants
much,
on one
but
leg
it's
at a
honest
time.
work. Yeah, we're back. We've got 4 movies to talk about today,
Yes, we do.
which we'll get into in a little bit. But first, we got some trivia.
Yep.
And I don't have any good trivia. I have one trivia question, but it's not anything you would know. It's
Awesome.
something I just found out today, so I just figured I'd bring it up.
Yeah.
But I asked the Scoopers for some trivia.
Ooh.
And most of them are pretty easy. At least I feel like a couple of them are just jokes.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll do yours first, since you probably have some decent trivia.
I've got a pretty easy one because I feel like we've talked about it a couple times, and then I have one that's hard. I don't think you'll get it, but it's funny.
Okay.
So the first one is, who was originally in talks to play Shrek?
I think I've heard this before. Donkey. That's my Shrek impression.
It's so good.
You
It's so
ooze
good.
talent. Fucking Shrek.
I want you to know.
I think it was someone we don't like, right?
This was the easy one.
This was the easy one. I've heard this.
I think you don't really.
Oh, wasn't it John Candy?
No,
But it was.
You're on the right.
It was.
You're on the right track. It's a guy that you don't really know.
It was
I know.
SNL
I love him.
guy. He died.
Yep.
He was Tubby. Not to be rude to the deceased. I'm just trying to describe him. He did the thing with Patrick Swayze where he danced with his shirt off.
Yeah. You know. So you know who it is. You just don't remember.
Chris
his name.
Farley.
Yeah.
That's
who
his
it
name.
was. Yeah.
Okay, I got it. That was a good question.
Yeah. My next question is, what's the name of the main character from The Open House?
You fucking bitch. You fucking cocksucker. The door's right there, all right?
Give me the letter of his first name. The
I want to
first letter of his
say,
name.
fuck you for, first of all, for making us discuss this film. I want to say I remember his name being Logan.
Oh my god, it's Logan.
It's Logan.
I couldn't remember and had to Google it.
Oh, I don't know how I remembered that. It just came to my head.
I mean, I think I know how.
I'm a closet
You're a deeply
open house
closeted
enjoyer.
Open house,
In my closet,
aficionado.
I have
Yeah.
a trap door with all my copies of the open house.
The open house criteria collection.
My signed Dylan Minnette Logan poster. I have to overcompensate and talk
Yeah.
about how much I hate it, so no one knows I actually
I
like
guarantee if I pull that bookshelf down with the 9 Batman collections, there's going to be an open house poster.
it. No, that
behind
would
it.
no. There's nothing there. There's no need to do that.
Yeah. That was. I did not think in a million.
I didn't
years
think
you
I
would've
would
got
get
that.
it either, but it just
That was crazy. You're fucking coming out swinging, dude.
So my trivia is, what director is the son of David Bowie?
Holy fuck! I did not know David Bowie had kids.
Me neither, pal.
I thought he didn't enjoy the company of women.
Oh, you thought he was a Homo sapien?
I did. I thought he was kind of like a George Michael kind of guy.
Prince.
Yeah. Well,
Did Prince like women?
Yeah, he did.
Did he dabble in both?
I mean, I haven't heard that, but
but come on.
Yeah.
You're not fooling anyone. All right. Yeah, I was listening to a podcast and they were talking about this movie and then said the director, and then they were like, yeah, son of David Bowie. And I was like, what the fuck? What? Huh?
Let me think here.
I honestly,
does he look like David
this is
Bowie?
kind like I said, this isn't a question you'd know, because honestly, I don't even know if you know of this guy. Oh. He made a movie you love, but I don't think you know him by name.
Is it the guy that made Real Steel?
No.
Oh.
No. But that's a good guess.
I don't know.
He made a Sam movie that you like a lot.
Guy that made Moon?
Yeah.
Oh fuck! What's his name? Dude, I know his name because it comes up when I'm trying to find Moon. You have to specify what you're talking about.
Yeah. See if he made anything else.
I
He
don't
made
know.
Source Code.
I don't know his full name.
His name's Duncan Jones.
Duncan Jones.
Yep. Whoa. Duncan Zoe Jones, also known as Zoe Bowie or Joey Bowie. Is this the coolest guy to ever walk the planet?
Kind of. Because he went by Duncan Jones instead of Zoe Bowie or Joey Bowie, which would have been insane.
He just didn't. He wanted a name for his own.
That's what it is.
He didn't want to come up as, oh, this is David Bowie's son. He was fuck you.
He was doing Creed.
Exactly. He was pulling a Creed.
Yeah.
Which is fucking sick.
Yeah.
Duncan Jones. He picked like the most basic name you could possibly imagine. Was like, I'm gonna make a film career.
Yeah.
Sure, maybe I'll use my dad's money to fund it.
Just here and there.
So what? But at least it'll be my name.
Yeah.
At least it'll be me earning it on my own. So shout out to him. I don't think he's doing much nowadays. But shout out to him, because Moon and Source Code are slappers.
They do slap, and I feel like no one. The problem is, I don't think anyone watched Moon, and Source Code. I feel like people didn't like for some reason. If I remember,
like
right.
In the film community, it's pretty. Like, people like it. No one thinks it's a masterpiece, but people enjoy it.
Yeah, but general audiences, I feel like
was.
they probably didn't like it.
Box office was $147 million on a $31 million budget, so that was profitable.
That's good turnover.
Yeah.
What was Moon?
Ooh. Probably not as good.
I feel like it's not going to be too swell. Oh no.
Oh man.
What, did they get $12?
Let me see what the budget was before I reveal this. That is something. Moon made $9.8 million. But the budget was foot cramp. The budget was $5 million.
Man.
So it lost money, but it wasn't like it cost $50 million and it's like a catastrophic failure. It was a low budget movie, but it still pooped at the box office.
It
which
looks
sucks
fucking
because
great, which is crazy.
Yeah, which sucks because it's really good. Call me crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, Duncan Jones. That's the answer.
Hell yeah.
So now you have a fun fact to tell people. Oh, you know this movie Moon? It's really good, but also David Bowie's son made it, so fuck you.
I wish that's how the conversation would go. But I'd be like, yeah, you know that movie Moon? They'd be like, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm like, the one with Sam Rockwell, and they're gonna be like, who the fuck are you
Directed by
talking about?
Duncan Jones.
They're gonna be like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Who is Sam Rockwell? Who is Duncan Jones? And what the fuck is Moon? That's
Yeah.
what they'd say to you.
Yep. And then like I would just keep getting trapped in this box of like, what the hell is this guy talking?
You can't even sound cool because no one knows what you're talking about.
That's how it goes half the time.
Yeah.
That I talk at work.
Yeah, can't talk about movies at work.
No,
it's bad news.
never gonna happen.
Yeah, but my acoustic came into play at work the other day because my boss was telling me we were making fun of Pandora, and he was like, I was listening to Pandora back in 2003, and I was like, I didn't even know it was around back then. I didn't even know Pandora was created in 2003. And then I was like, that was before YouTube. And then they were like, no, it's not. And I was like, yeah, YouTube was created in 2005. And then they were like, no, it was definitely before that. And then they Googled it and it was 2005. And they were like, how'd you know that? I was like, I'm good at calculations.
Dude, something's wrong with you.
I didn't know when Pandora was created, so makes me a
have-
little more normal.
Well, yeah, it's fucking.
Who gives a fuck about
Yeah.
Pandora?
They'd be like, oh, when was the fucking?
When was iHeartRadio created?
When was the pocket abacus invented? I don't fucking know. I've never used that.
Yeah.
No one uses that anymore.
Yeah. But YouTube, I knew.
Yeah. That's just bizarre.
Yeah.
Just a freak, abnormal, weird, just outcast kind of thing that you have going on.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't feel like it's that weird.
It's weird.
Because I'm really into movies. Like, there's a lot of people that are really into college football or football in general, and you can ask them any player and they'll tell you where they went to college. I don't have that kind of, like, football
I don't know
knowledge.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not in the football world enough to like be like that's a weird thing, but fuck, I don't really talk to anyone about movies.
If you spend
that
a lot
does
of
that
time
either.
with a hobby that you're interested in, you're going to learn a lot about it. Same way you'll talk to people who are interested in history and they can just tell you, oh yeah, this war happened on August 5th, 1805. It's like,
those people
that's
are
crazy
freaks
to
too.
me, but he's interested in that. Like that's what he's into.
Those people are weird too.
Having interest is weird.
No, but just like having things down to like a finite thing like that tells me like something's slightly off about this guy. He might tiptoe walk a little bit.
Maybe you just have a bad memory.
I do have a bad memory. 100% that's true. But there's also the other side of the spectrum of like, this guy's just kind of weird.
I mean, I do think I know movie years better than most people. I don't think that's crazy to say. But I
weird.
also feel like
if you're into
it's not as
history,
weird as you make it out to be.
Like if you're into history, you can probably give me like the big stuff like World War I, World War II. But like if I ask you what exact date Ponce de Leon touched down in Florida and why he named it Florida and you tell me all that, you're weird.
So all the people on Jeopardy are weird?
Yes.
I know. It was a rhetorical
yes.
question. They're all weirdos.
Dude, there are some absolute freak shows on
I don't
Jeopardy.
even know how you study for Jeopardy.
Dude, there was a guy who
Because
went on
there's
Jeopardy.
It's not. They ask you so many different things. They ask you about music and art and history and science and just the most insane shit. And it's like, if you're a Jeopardy person, what do you go home and study? Like, where do you begin?
Dude, there was a guy on there, took his shoes off on stage,
He sounds cool.
brought the dogs out.
For free?
Yeah.
Wow.
He said he intimidates the other contestants by doing that.
Maybe they just smell. And it makes the other guests distraught.
He's hitting him with that guy from SpongeBob.
Poison gas. Oh yeah. With that guy. Not at all, boy.
I was thinking of the 4 Floors of Fear.
Oh,
It's like my horrible body odor.
the power within.
The power within.
The power within. The power within.
Dude.
The power within. Sorry, we're getting
Yeah, we can't go off on
a little
the
nuts
tangent.
right now. We watched an episode of SpongeBob the other day.
We did.
I don't know why. We just did. We were eating food. You gotta have something on while you eat food.
Well, I did the Ocean Man joke, and that just kind of inspired a lot of SpongeBob talk.
Ocean Man.
Yeah. Then we did Gary Come Home, and I was like, well, now we gotta watch.
Yeah,
SpongeBob.
I watched Gary Come Home like on YouTube at work, and I was like, man, this is, I enjoy this.
Yeah,
I enjoy
it's
what's
good stuff.
happening. Yeah. But yeah, we watched the episode where they sell chocolate, and they start lying about what the chocolate does, and Patrick walks up. He walks up, and you can't see who he's talking to at first, but he says, "The chocolate will make you." Hold on, let me try to do a Patrick. It'll keep you from getting any uglier. And then it zooms out, and he's talking to a guy that looks just like him, and he goes, "Just in time."
He just had on a shirt. That was the only difference.
It's like he was looking in a mirror. Oh, yeah. SpongeBob.
Why is-
Elite. Second to Drake and Josh, but
Why is Chubby here staring at me?
that's a great episode.
Yeah,
Right
fantastic.
Anyways, what were we talking about here?
We gotta get in, that we did our first trivia, and then I started making fun of you, or your first trivia, which was
Okay.
the Duncan Jones.
Okay, so we got the Scoopers trivia now.
Okay.
So Eric asked a question that we've already been asked on here, but I'll still read it out because Eric's the homie.
Heck yeah.
He said, "What film did Steven Spielberg win his first Oscar for Best Director?" Which is something you asked me,
Yeah, I asked you.
and
you
it was
nailed
Schindler's List.
Yep.
So, yep, that was right. And then he said, I told him to ask another one, since we've already done that one.
Oh, okay.
And he said, I already know this one, and I think you know it too. Which famous Pulp Fiction scene was filmed backwards?
Oh, the injection,
Yeah.
the adrenaline shot.
Yeah, the adrenaline shot scene.
Yeah.
So shout out to Eric. Thanks
Heck
for
yeah.
the question.
Good question.
Max Wilson said, how many acres of corn did Nolan plant for Interstellar? And then how much did he sell it for?
I don't know the answer to either of those.
I
But
thought,
you're good with
like-
calculation.
well, it's commonly known that he bought a bunch of corn and then sold it
Yeah,
to
yeah,
help
like,
with the budget.
I
of the
knew
movie.
that. I
Everyone
just-
knows that, but the exact amount is a pretty difficult question.
I'm
gonna say
I'm gonna guess 300 acres, and I
Could
think
be.
he sold it for. Fuck, how much does an ear of corn go for?
I don't know.
nowadays?
I'm not very well versed in the corn stock. Let's see. I'm gonna guess. I was just gonna say 100 acres. That's not a lot, I guess. If you're doing like the shot, the film, like the shot they had to get of him driving through the corn.
Yeah,
It's a pretty wide shot. It's all corn.
it's all corn.
I'll say 200 acres.
And
And I'll say he sold it for $30 million.
oh, I'm gonna go way lower than that.
Oh, is that not? I don't know land prices.
Well, I know if you made that much money off of corn, I feel like I'd have a cornfield. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I would say
$5 million.
so. 300. I guess 300 acres. I'm gonna say that he sold it for 1.5 mil.
Okay. 500 acres.
Oh my gosh.
Sold it for 160,000. Is that right? There's no way 500 acres is 160,000.
Dude, corn's not like a big cash crop, dude.
No way.
I didn't expect it to be.
I'm gonna Google it. I'm sorry, Max,
not,
that I'm not trusting your answer, but that doesn't sound right.
Listen, I'm no farmer. I didn't expect it to be that low, but I also didn't expect it to be high. So you said 100,000?
160,000. That's what he said. Oh yeah, it says. Nolan Studio gained heavy profits from leftover corn that wasn't destroyed during filming of. Oh, they sold the corn, not the land.
Yeah.
I thought they were selling the land.
Oh, no.
Oh, well, I know corn doesn't go for $5 million. I thought they were talking about the land.
No.
Yeah, the leftover corn that didn't get destroyed, they sold for $162 million. That makes sense. Okay. Got the next one. What are you doing?
I just wanted to get a quick calculation of how much profit you make per like acre of corn you have. But you can go on to the next one.
Alan said, "Who gets called crazy for liking Blade Runner 2049?" Do you understand this reference?
No, I don't think I do.
It's a callback to when we were talking about Blade Runner 2049, and you said, "Call me crazy," but I really like Blade Runner 2049. And they all thought it was hysterical. You said, "Call me crazy," and did the Kevin James meme, and it was one of the most celebrated films ever made.
Yeah.
And you were like, "Call me crazy," but I think it's pretty good.
Dude.
So
that's a fun thing to do. Anytime there's something like super awesome,
yeah,
like call me crazy, but
Martin Scorsese's a pretty good director.
Yeah, dude, do some shit like that. It's fun.
Don't look now, but he's got a catalog.
I mean, really, if you want to get down to it, he's got some bushy eyebrows. Call me nuts.
And Spitfire said, he told me to ask you what the ticking sound means in Interstellar, but I feel like that's pretty.
It is.
Easy.
It's a year going by, right? Or is it a day? No, it's a year.
It's
a day.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
a day going by. Every 1.25 seconds, there's a tick, and it's a day going by on Earth. So, yeah.
It'd be a lot of time if it was a year, I guess.
Well, I mean, they did have. There wouldn't. Wait a second. There wouldn't be like a huge sense of urgency to get off Miller's planet if it was a day, because that would mean a year would take 365 minutes.
No, a tick happened every 1.2 seconds.
Or, sorry, every 365 seconds. So that means, what, like...
That's every
Math,
6 minutes.
math.
Every 6 minutes a year goes by.
Yeah, I guess that's about right. I guess that's worth, like, being in a rush for.
Doing a little bit of a hustle.
Yeah. But I feel like them being on Miller's planet made, like, 40 years go by.
No, it was just because they were close to the event horizon of that black hole.
Oh, well.
It wasn't like the actual like planet doing that.
Yeah.
It was the black hole. But that gets into some crazy fucking science shit that I don't even understand.
I don't think Christopher Nolan even understands it.
No one really fucking understands it,
Yeah,
dude.
no one gets it.
It's really scary when you think about like when you delve into like the theories and like how no one knows what the fuck's going on.
Mm-hmm. And how we're a planet inside a galaxy that's inside a galaxy that's inside a galaxy that's inside a galaxy.
And
that just goes on forever.
A jewel of a cat's collar.
Yep.
And in that world is inside of a galaxy, inside of a galaxy, inside of a marble that an alien is playing marbles with.
Yep.
You know what that's from?
An alien playing with a marble?
That's actually a galaxy.
Huh? What are you saying right now?
There's a big zoom out scene of like the Earth, and it zooms out to like a galaxy and a galaxy, and then it zooms out.
There's an alien playing with a
marble. Like the universe is a marble,
Well,
and an alien's playing marbles with it. It's Men in Black.
Oh, I don't know. I'm not too well versed in Men in Black.
I know.
I watched it once, like 4 years ago, and
haven't looked back.
might rewatch it one day. It's not pressing to me.
Was that it for the trivia?
Yeah, that was it.
Okay.
So we have some films to talk about here.
We do. We got a pretty good watch
Oh,
list.
trailers. Furiosa trailer. Sequel to one of Carl's favorite movies.
It is, yeah.
And my takeaway was, I'm excited, but visually it looks like a step down from Fury Road. And it looks like my what does he say in Good Will Hunting? My contention, that guy at the bar, the asshole guy.
Yeah.
My contention is that Mad Max Fury Road disappointed at the box office compared to the budget and the marketing costs, that the deal with, I guess Warner Brothers is making this one, the deal that they made was, if you want to make another Mad Max movie, like, you're not getting the same budget and resources that you did with Fury Road, and you'll have to make some compromises, because I don't think George Miller would decide that CGI would make his movie better.
Yeah.
I think he's doing it because he has to, and he just wanted to make the movie so bad that he's okay with cutting some corners.
Yeah.
But there's some shots that, granted, they could be not finished yet, but the movie comes out in 4 months, and I just kind of never buy that. The whole, like, the CGI is not done thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like every time we've said that about a trailer, it doesn't end up being better in the movie.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes the frame of reference of, like, seeing it actually in the movie helps a bit versus seeing, like, a clip of something happening in a trailer. But I definitely get what you're saying. There's still something, like, weird about Anya Taylor-Joy's face.
You mean the fact that she looks nothing like Charlize Theron?
Well, there's that.
Because that could factor in.
But there's, like, it might be because she has such, like, enormous eyes, but, like, in a lot of the shots that we, like, went through and paused on, her face looked CGI. She looked like a fucking video game character.
I think it's just because she's so odd looking.
There's that.
Like,
you also pointed out that they're using, like, green screen in certain areas, and that could be why she looks so weird in
like,
this setting.
She's odd looking, but we've seen her in so many movies now that we're used to it. But we're not used to it with black face paint on. So now we have to get readjusted to seeing her eye distance, like, with face paint on.
That could be what it is, because she's usually, like, pale in everything she's in.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure once you start watching the movie, it's not going to feel weird. It's just we've never seen her like that, so yeah. It's odd. But
I'm still really excited though.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna slap.
Did you notice when Chris Hemsworth was talking with the mic to the people, he said "lady and gentlemen's"?
Yeah, I did notice that. Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
They made him look really weird. I think they gave him a big nose.
Yeah, they gave him a fake nose.
Bunch of prosthetics.
Yeah. Which, man, shout out to the props department for making Chris Hemsworth look weird.
That's quite the task, making that guy look
dude.
ugly.
Yeah.
Man. Anyways, we're getting sidetracked.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks good. It still looks like a good movie. It's just I'm disappointed that it seems like they're gonna use a lot of CGI, which they didn't do in Fury Road. But I also just am not like a Furiosa prequel isn't where I would have went with the franchise, because I feel like Fury Road was a Furiosa movie and it was a great one and we learned a lot about her, and it would have been cooler just to either start from scratch with new characters or follow Max, because we don't know shit about Max.
Yeah.
We know a lot about Furiosa. We don't know anything about Max. So I feel like a Max movie or just starting from scratch would have been better than giving us backstory on a character that we already kind of understand.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited. It's gonna be. Still think it's gonna be really good.
Yeah, I think so too.
There's another trailer we watched. What was it?
We watched the Fallout trailer,
Oh yeah.
but you don't really. I
I
don't
haven't
think you really
played
care
it, so
about
I
that.
can't really say, but from what I've seen, it seems like people who like Fallout liked the trailer.
Yeah, there's a couple of oddball things, and other than that, I think it's gonna. The potential's there. It just like depends on how. It seems like they might be going a little wacky with it, so it just depends on how wacky they go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But there's a lot like that world is very expansive. So
Yeah.
you could tell a lot of different crazy stories in that world. And there's always something to set it up. So hopefully they really take advantage of it.
Yeah. That'll be fun. Also, you probably didn't see this, but for some reason, the Dune 2 cast was at some like panel. Like I think they showed the opening 10 minutes of Dune 2 and was just there to answer questions and talk about it. And some fuckhead threw something on stage and hit Florence Pugh.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
What'd she do?
Which, I mean, she was chilling. I mean, she's cool as hell, but like she didn't freak out or anything. But my point is, like, what the fuck is wrong with you? What could these people have possibly done to warrant you throwing something at
That's
them?
what I was asking when I was like, what'd she do? Like, why did she...
No, like they were all together, so it wasn't like he intentionally aimed at her. They were like taking a picture and were like shoulder to shoulder.
And this pussy just
happened to hit
can't
her.
throw a bottle like a man?
I don't know what it was, but it like hit her in the face.
Jesus, dude.
Yeah, so we need to find that guy.
Yeah, dude.
And we need to tell him that the spice will flow.
Dude.
And
if Florence gives me the word, this guy...
He's dead. He's a dead man.
He's going to know how deep the oceans are in Arrakis.
Yeah.
Or not Arrakis. What the fuck?
No, it's Arrakis.
Arrakis?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's going to know that I'm Paul Muad'Dib Atreides, Duke of Arrakis. He's going to know.
He's going to know that the Baron wants to make me bald.
Mama, the Baron wants to make me bald. Some chucklehead named Muad'Dib.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so fuck that guy.
Yeah.
I hope Florence Pugh doesn't get the idea that we don't like her, because that's far from true.
Yeah.
She's fucking sick. Everyone in that cast. That's got to be one of the most likable casts of all time. The Dune cast.
Yeah. 100%.
Timmy Tim, Zendaya. First of all, Denis the director, and he's just the sweetest man you will ever meet in your life.
Yeah.
Austin Butler's sick.
Was Walken there?
Walken wasn't there. But you know some fucked up shit? I showed my buddy the Dune 2 trailer. I didn't really show it to him. I was just watching it, and he happened to be there.
Yeah.
Because it was my daily sit down and watch the Dune 2 trailer.
Where were you at?
Moment. I was here.
Oh.
And he's not into movies. Like, he's not... It's not his thing.
Yeah.
He doesn't watch anything with subtitles. He won't watch Into the Spider-Verse because it's a cartoon. He's a fucking idiot. I'm just stuck with him. All right.
Yeah.
But point is, I was watching the Dune 2 trailer, and Christopher Walken came up, and he said, "Is that the guy from Saw?"
Do you do what I do when I'm just like, yeah. I just let him believe whatever bullshit that they say.
I think I ignored him because I was hearing.
I thought he was Tobin Bell.
Yeah, because I started hearing Hans Zimmer's score, and I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna ignore that idiot.
Yeah, you
and
were
I'm just gonna go
deadlocked.
back to what I was doing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go back to having a good time. Because that shot of Josh Brolin walking towards Beast Raban and Hans Zimmer's score starts like ramping up.
Yeah.
Dude, when we watch that in theaters, like when we see the IMAX trailer in the IMAX theater, I cry. I cry tears of joy because I'm so happy to experience something that looks so good.
Yeah.
Like it just moves me. I don't know what it is.
You know something crazy is I know a guy who I was like, we were talking about just excellent movies, and I was like, well, yeah, Dune's spectacular. And he was like, it was okay. And I was like, dude, have you ever been laid?
Have you ever experienced joy before?
Yeah, because if you've gotten laid and you've had an orgasm, that's what watching that movie is like.
Yep.
So if that to you feels like, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
Maybe just give up.
Yeah. Maybe just go die. I don't know.
I don't know how to help you, dude.
Yeah. If you don't like Dune, me and you can't be friends.
Yeah.
There's no way.
We're gonna have quite the quarrel.
Yeah. So, yeah. Fuck that guy. Florence Pugh's the homie.
She is.
That's what I was. That's the only reason I brought it up, I guess. But yeah, Dune 2. Should have seen it by now. We should have already seen it. But it got delayed.
Woo! Gotta love it.
Anyways. So, I think that's all the
The
all the
news.
trailers, all the shit we needed to talk about. So we'll get into our first movie we're going to talk about, which is Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Last episode, we talked about Rise, and we said we're going to watch the next two. Guess what? We watched the next two. That's
Put
what
your
happened.
fucking big boy pants on, dude. It's time
Put
for
your
Planet
fucking
of the goddamn
listen,
apes.
put your
dude.
thinking cap on right now, because we're about to dive in to the Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, and by that I mean I didn't take any notes, and I'm just gonna freeball it, and we're just gonna talk about a movie I like.
I have some mental footnotes that I've created.
Okay, so I moved it up to a 5 out of 5. Oh, by the way, this will be a spoiler discussion on Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
It'll probably spoiler for Dawn and War.
It will be, because we want to get in depth, and can't really do that if we're not getting into spoilers, so be warned.
Yeah.
At the end we're going to talk about Dream Scenario and Godzilla, which won't have spoilers, but since these are old movies, we're going to spoil the shit out of them.
Yeah.
So Dawn,
Sequel
to Rise.
This is this is your favorite out of the trilogy.
Oh yeah.
That's safe to
It
say?
is. It is. Directed by Matt Reeves, my fucking homie.
Yep, your papa,
fucking
dude.
Boy.
Yeah.
My man, my husband.
Did the ranking wind up how I predicted last episode? 4, 5, 4.5. Is that how your ranking landed?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my ranking. But yeah, we'll start with Dawn. So I moved it up to a 5. I think it's a masterpiece. There's not a second of the movie where I'm not enjoying what's happening. And I think just to give like the main reason why I think it's so great is because of the conflict. I think it has some of the most masterful conflict ever like constructed in a movie.
Mm-hmm.
I think from the opening shot of the film, it establishes conflict, and then throughout the film it stays. That conflict never, in most movies there's conflict and then that scene will end and then it'll go back to like something else and it'll calm down. It'll just be people talking, and then it'll go back up later on. There will be a tense scene, and it's like a roller coaster.
Yeah.
With Dawn, it's like from the second it starts to the second it ends, it's nonstop tension and conflict. And that's because when the movie starts, you've got these soldiers coming into the apes' woods. Like they've built a home here in the woods, and so instantly conflict between the military and the apes. And then
Well, these are like citizens, by the way.
what do you mean?
Like these are like, it's like a civilization that's banded together through the downfall of the world because of the virus that broke out. A lot of people died from the simian flu, so now this is like a group of survivors. They've got this fort that's settled up, and that's who's like coming in.
Oh wait, I think I'm thinking about the opening of War.
War is.
I know the opening shot of Dawn is Caesar's face, and then it zooms out, and then you see all the apes.
That's
hanging.
when they go hunting. They go hunting.
They go hunting.
Yeah, they're hunting like animals.
Who?
Caesar and the boys. They're hunting.
Oh yeah, the horses.
War
and,
starts out with the
deer
monkey
and shit.
killer on the fucking military.
Yeah,
helmet.
that's what I was thinking about. Okay, sorry, that's my fault.
Yeah.
So basically, yeah, there's this guy that I forget his name, but he's a real dickhead, and he stumbles into the woods and shoots one of the apes, and so that starts this conflict between the humans and the apes, and there's a big disconnect between Caesar and the rest of the apes. Outside of Maurice is just chill like that. But
Yeah, Maurice just knows what to do.
Caesar was raised as a human, so he's an ape, but he was raised as a human, and he knows that not all humans are bad.
Yeah.
Because of James Franco's character in the first movie.
Well,
And there's a disconnect because the other apes didn't experience that. They're just apes. And
well, majority of them have been mistreated.
yeah, and majority of them were like lab rats, and they hate humans. And specifically Koba, who was abused by humans in like the ape trials from the first movie. So Caesar is the leader of the apes, and he loves the apes, and that's all he really cares about is protecting the apes. But he also doesn't want to fight the humans.
Yeah.
He just wants peace. He just wants both sides to go about their business, and he just wants everyone to leave them alone in the woods. Let them have their woods. And Koba, not so much. Koba just hates humans and wants vengeance. Like, he just wants to kill them. And so that creates this great tension between Caesar and Koba throughout the movie, which is foreshadowed brilliantly throughout the whole thing. It never feels like it comes out of nowhere. Like, the entire movie, you see it'll just be little things, like a look Koba gives Caesar once he turns, and you can just tell like he's not vibing with Caesar being so like forgiving to the humans.
That, and also Koba will, like, he kind of gets into the ear of other apes in the group.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically Caesar's son.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, and he plays it off like, you know, your dad's kindness towards the humans is gonna like puts him in danger, and I'm just worried about him.
Yeah.
But obviously, secretly, he's very vindictive on what happened to him. Rightfully so. I mean, he's
you can't
fucked
blame
up.
him.
Yeah, he's fucked up. But that human kills one of the apes. He gets scaled, shoots one of the apes. Caesar lets him go, and then he sends people to follow him. So they track him back to their little civilization, where Gary Oldman is their king.
Mm-hmm.
And he shows up with the fucking homies.
Yep.
Just full army, shows up at their gate, and he's like, I don't want any problems, but I'll figure it out if that's how you want to do it.
Yeah. I think he says apes do not want war, something along those lines.
Yeah.
But we'll fight if we must.
Yeah. Those exact words.
Yeah. Just one of the coolest fucking things I've ever seen. Just the homies on horseback riding up into this town, telling them what's good, and they dip.
Yeah.
And so Jason Clarke is basically like the new James Franco. He's the human that has a connection with the apes, because Jason Clarke goes in there and like the apes told them fuck off and like just leave us alone and you're good.
Yeah.
Like we don't want to fight you, just fuck off. And he showed up anyways back in their woods.
Yeah.
And that was a pretty dangerous move
Yeah.
by him.
Because Gary Oldman was like, the whole reason why they went there is there's this hydroelectric dam in the woods that they're trying to restore to get power to their...
Isn't every dam hydroelectric?
Probably.
Anyways, sorry. Just...
but they're trying to get power onto their city. And then once Caesar shows up and was like, step off!
Or what's that from?
That's School of Rock.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
But once he tells him to fuck off, Gary Oldman's like, well, we just got to kill him. We got to get to that. We're running out of fuel and people are going to die if we don't get power.
Once again, amazing conflict.
Yeah.
You have apes that don't want war because of like they kind of do, but Caesar doesn't, so they don't. But and Gary Oldman would love to just not deal with the apes, but he's got people to protect and people to provide for, and they need the power and they need to fix the dam, but the apes are posted up on the dam.
Yeah.
So the way he sees it is like, there's nothing else we can do. Like we got to go fucking kill him. Like we need to work on the dam. So, Jason Clarke shows up in like a last ditch effort to try to convince the apes to let them work on the dam, so there won't be any hostility. There won't be any war between them. And Caesar agrees to it, like very reluctantly. He's not very happy about it, but he's doing it. And you get some cool moments. I like the scene where Caesar's little baby like runs up to the human family and they start playing with him.
Yeah.
And it gets ruined by some dickhead. Oh,
Carver.
Yeah. Is that his name, Carver?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they call him Carver.
Yeah, they find a gun in his bag, and he, like, they didn't really find it. The monkey, like, runs over to it, and then he freaks out for no reason and, like, reaches for the gun. So then everyone starts freaking out, and then Caesar's upset because he said no guns, so now they broke his trust, and then Jason Clarke's like, well, I didn't know he had that. Like, that had nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
We'll get rid of him. Which is a parallel to Caesar and Koba.
Yeah.
Like Koba destroying the image of the apes and what they represent, and then Carver destroying the image of the humans and what they represent. And the two leaders of each side, like, kind of trying to say, just because that one did it, like, that doesn't mean they represent us.
Yeah.
You know, and like,
I really like throughout that whole process, you start seeing a lot of tension build amongst the apes, especially because, I mean, it does kind of, it looks kind of weak from like someone following Caesar. It's like so we just told them to fuck off. Now you're letting them come back here and do what they want, and it's especially big when Koba starts like talking about it. Yeah. Because he's like, the humans are going to finish their work and then they're going to leave. And Koba fucking stands up to Caesar for the first like public stand up to Caesar in the movie. And he points at his fucking like all the scars on him and he goes, human work.
Yeah.
And he fucking points at like his face missing. He's like, human work. And like starts freaking out. I love that shit, dude.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah,
Caesar
that was great.
Caesar like stands up and he instantly like puts his hand out like, fuck, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Dude, I love when Caesar fucking squares up.
Oh, dude.
Anytime anyone disrespects him, he just stands up and
Yeah.
looks down at them, and then they cower.
Yeah.
It's
God,
fucking
it gets me
awesome.
going.
Caesar's the fucking homie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there was something I wanted to say. Oh yeah, when we were watching it, I leaned over and I was like, dude, every decision Caesar makes is the right decision, and it makes so much sense. And like a lot of the apes are mad that he's letting the humans work at the dam, and then he's like, well, if we don't let them work, they're just gonna start a war with us. And then I think he was talking to Koba when he said that, and he was like, well, good. Like,
Yeah, Koba was like, well, then we'll
good.
fight him and
we'll
we'll
fight
beat
him. And then he's like, well, how many apes would die, like, in that war? And even though we might win, those
Like,
apes
at
would still
what
die.
cost? Yeah.
And there's no need for that. That's so his only real, goal is to keep apes together and alive.
Yeah.
So that's why he's making the decisions that he's making. And so really, Caesar's just a great leader.
Yeah.
And
Did you notice too that like their little like Lion King altar had the attic window symbol on it?
yeah,
That was pretty sick.
that's pretty awesome.
It's become like a symbol for Caesar, which is like a awesome thing to do
Yeah.
with that, to keep that symbol.
I love they
throughout
tied
the
it back
movies.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there anything important to go over before the assassination attempt?
No, basically
That's
like
the next big thing. I
him
remember.
letting them come in and work. Oh, yeah. While they're in there working, it pisses Koba off. So he goes on a recon with a couple of other apes to the human base. And for some reason, they're going through their armory and just shooting every gun they have. And Koba sees to what extent that they're fully armed and tries to like report back to Caesar. And when he reports back to Caesar is when they get into like an actual fight.
Yeah.
So he goes back to the dam. Koba's like,
Where's Caesar?
Yeah, he's like freaking out saying, where's Caesar? He's fucking pushing the humans around. And that's when he says Caesar loved humans more than he loves apes. And Caesar loses his goddamn mind.
Yep. Starts wailing on him.
Yeah,
Beats
absolutely
the shit out of him.
fucks him in the ass.
Yeah.
And has to stop himself from killing him. He's about to choke him to death. Stops himself from killing him. Koba asks for forgiveness and leaves.
Yeah.
And it's that moment of like being kind of embarrassed in front of everybody. That's when Koba's like, fuck this shit, dude. So Koba leaves and he's like, I don't remember which ape it is, but he's talking to one of the other apes and he's like, you didn't tell him about all the guns and stuff the humans have. He's like, yeah, you don't tell him anything. And that's when Koba builds his like plan to overthrow Caesar.
Yeah. So Koba then there's this big like ape meeting and all the apes are there and then Caesar gets shot.
Oh yeah, it's when they turn the power on.
Yeah.
And they're all looking out at all the lights lighting up in the city.
And Caesar gets shot and like falls off the edge of the cliff. And so then someone yells like human gun and like, oh, Caesar. So Koba basically framed the humans for killing Caesar.
Yeah.
Which at the time he's not dead, but like at the time you think that they killed Caesar. So Koba's starting this revolution and like getting the apes on his side by pretending that the humans killed Caesar, which is just like genius, kind of. It's because Koba can't do shit with Caesar around.
Yeah.
Like no one is gonna choose. There's like 2 or 3, I think, apes that would choose Koba over Caesar, but like the entire ape community looks up to Caesar and listens to whatever he says.
That's something else too. Later on in the movie, Caesar says like the apes will follow whoever they view as strong. They always seek the strongest branch. And since he's been now punked in front of the tribe, almost no one's going to follow Koba.
Yeah.
But now that Caesar's gone, there's like this big battle rally of like they assassinated our leader.
Yeah.
What are we going to do about it?
Yeah. So no one saw him do it, and Caesar is quote unquote dead, so he can't disprove of it either. So like all the apes have to go off of is that he was shot by a gun, so the humans killed him. So now they're like with Koba, and they're gonna go fight the humans, which is just A+ conflict, like I was talking about, because Caesar did not want to fight the humans. So now he gets shot, and while he's like trying to recover, because the humans find him, Jason Clarke and his family like find him, and they start helping him recover. Like while he's doing that, Koba's actively fighting the humans.
Camp,
and it's just such a pain in the ass for Caesar. So yeah, they go back to they start helping Caesar recover. They're driving in the car, and then he sees his childhood home from the first movie, and which is like a great scene. He goes into the house and watches like a tape of him and James Franco, and Jason Clarke said, who's that in the video? And Caesar says, "A good man like you."
Yeah.
Like,
I thought he was going to say my father for a second.
That would have been cool too.
Yeah, but he was like a good man. I'm like, yeah. That's nuts.
So the big idea is they help Caesar recover, and then he goes like to the city where the war's happening, and
Koba has successfully, like barely successfully, invaded the town, and tons of casualties. There's some amazing shots in that battle. The battle to get into the city. I fucking love the 360 shot of
on the tank?
Koba on the ATS.
That's fucking awesome.
Badass shit, dude.
Yeah.
Rolls in, you see all the apes fly into the door, but they overtake the city, and Koba basically puts all the people in a cage, and then there's a moment where he shows his true colors, and there's this ape named Ash, who's Rocket's son, and he's like, kill this human, for what he did to Caesar, and Ash was like, Caesar wouldn't want me to do that, and Koba's like, oh yeah, fucking jerks him up and throws him off a balcony, and he goes, Caesar's fucking dead, you follow me now.
Yep.
And that's when like the floodgates open. So he also takes prisoner any apes that don't follow him. So Maurice is locked up, Rocket's locked up, all the homies are basically locked up on a bus. All the humans are like in a cage, and Koba is now like ruler of the city. Yeah.
So then Big Cock Caesar shows up.
Yep.
Tells Koba who the man is. Shows him who King Penis is.
Yeah.
And he just starts fucking him up. They're on this big like tower thing at like the top of this tower, and a great fight sequence happens between the two. And basically at the end of it, Caesar gets Koba hanging on by like he's got like one hand hanging on, and he's about to fall off, and Koba says, "Ape not kill ape," and then Caesar says, "You are not ape," and then lets him
fucking
die.
Drops him, dude.
Which is fucking awesome,
dude. All their quips back and forth between Caesar and Koba, incredible.
It's a legendary
yeah
hero villain dynamic.
Yeah, Caesar shows up, and fucking Koba's got like an AR in his hand, and he's like, Caesar's weak, and Caesar looks at the gun and goes, Koba's weaker. And fucking it lights him up, dude. Yeah. And he instantly starts trying to kill him. Yeah. Like all their shit back and forth is awesome. The setting, the tower, is badass. There's like a crane, a bunch
There's
of
shit's
like
falling
conduit
everywhere.
that's falling all over the place. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome stuff.
Yeah, it's really fucking sick. And like the whole time Caesar has had trouble, he kind of has this thing where he doesn't want to believe that there are any like bad apes or apes that deserve to die or anything. Like he just sees them as like, this is my family, I've got to protect them. So he deals with Koba for so long, but he inevitably like realizes at the end like Koba is a danger to us.
Yeah.
Like he's a danger to us as a people, and just makes the decision to let him die. And I think it's fucking sick.
Yeah. Oh, and before the apes fully invaded the city, the humans came in contact with a military base from up north, wherever the fuck.
Yeah.
Which sets up the events of 3, which is awesome. A
Yeah.
cool little tidbit to add into the movie.
It is awesome, but I was listening to interviews, and Matt Reeves said that they didn't have plans for a third one when they made 2. So I guess it kind of just like made sense in the story.
I think that
I guess it was just like, it's there if we decide to make another one.
Yeah, I
we,
think
we have some nice threads that'll connect the third one,
Yeah.
but we don't have to use it.
Matt's really good about that, about leaving a lot of. He's not gonna like box himself in. He leaves a lot of ace in the holes. Like we can go this way, we can go this way, we can go that way.
Yeah.
And he winds up ending most of his movies with like they could go so many different ways with the next one.
Yeah. And so to move on from all the great like character work and story dynamics, it's just a beautiful movie visually. Dawn and War featured the best visual effects I've ever seen in my life. I don't know if, I mean, maybe one day it'll be topped, but like nothing really comes close for me when I think of visual effects. The Apes movies, like those 2 Apes movies, are cream of the crop visual effects. And like they're out there filming in real locations. Almost everything like in the movie, like when they're walking, when they're riding horseback on the ocean in War, those are 4 actors in motion capture suits riding on horseback at the ocean.
Yeah, it's fucking nuts, dude.
So when in War, when it's snowy and like it's cold as shit, that's a bunch of actors out there in skin tight suits that are probably freezing cold, doing motion capture. Like they actually filmed in real locations and built real sets, and you can tell like it feels so authentic, and it never feels like CGI. Like you forget at the end of the movie that you're like Caesar's not real, like he's not there on set. Like you think he's just like, oh yeah,
the movie
Caesar.
ends and you're like, oh shit, monkeys
That's
can't
Caesar
talk.
playing Caesar.
Yeah.
That's not Andy Serkis.
Yeah, you're gonna go on to IMDb and be like, you know, what's some other movies that Caesar's
been in? Yeah. Oh, Koba
Caesar's
was in that?
filmography.
Yeah. Let me see what Maurice has been in. Yeah, it's just a masterfully made movie. The score is also really good. It has a very like old school score, especially War. War has a very it reminded me of something that would play in like The Great Escape.
Yeah.
Very old school War prison escape movie. But yeah, the cinematography of Dawn is gorgeous, and the visual effects are seamless.
Oh, and I love the ending to Dawn.
Yeah.
Because Jason Clarke is like, you know, all right, let's leave. And he's like, no, you leave. I'm going to stay. And he's like,
yeah.
What are you talking about? They're going to start fighting. He was like, the war's going to happen now. Like, there's nothing, like Caesar's like, there's nothing I can do.
Yeah. And
humans are going to blame us for this.
And if
I
stay with you guys are in danger.
Yeah.
So just let them come for us and we'll deal with it.
Yeah.
Pretty much. And then Jason Clarke says, I thought we had a chance. And Caesar said, I did too.
Yeah.
Which is just
so now he's
so sad that like 2 people who had the same goal on different sides of the spectrum. They lead two different groups of people, but they had the same goal and wanted to work together, and their people let them down.
Yeah.
And it's a kind of a beautiful ending that also perfectly sets up war.
Yeah.
So I guess we can move into that now. Yeah, Dawn's my fucking shit. I think I can't think of a single flaw with Dawn. I mean, I think the pacing, the cinematography, the action sequences, the acting, I can't think of anything wrong with Dawn. So
the only problem I have with Dawn is fucking Carver, dude. Get that guy,
bitch ass Carver,
the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
He's a fucking loser.
Yeah.
He's a fucking loser.
Nobody likes this guy. We should just replace Carver with another Maurice.
Oh my!
We can get two Maurices.
Two Mo's.
That's OP.
That's
you
crazy.
can't do that. That should be illegal.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll move on to war. Now this is the movie that starts with the military coming into the woods.
Yeah. There's
two guys with
just disgustingly badass scene of military troops storming into the woods.
Mm-hmm.
They all have like the Full Metal Jacket, like monkey killer, like fucking on their helmets, written on their helmets, a bunch of cool shit. They all have the Alpha and Omega, like brands, and then
there's this great reveal. You're looking at a shot of the military person, and then in the background you see an ape coming into picture.
Yeah,
and you're like, oh shit, like
he's about to get fucked.
The ape's behind him. He's about to fuck this guy up. And then it's revealed that there's apes working with the military.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of confusing at first. Seeing like apes work with military but the military's fighting apes. So it's like, why are the apes helping the military fight their own people?
Yeah.
But they explain later that those apes most of them were like Koba's people.
Yeah.
And they knew that they wouldn't be accepted back with Caesar, or just were too like prideful to join back with Caesar, so they turned against them and went to help the military.
Yeah, and so the military, they fucking brand these apes with the Alpha and Omega thing, and they call them donkeys.
Yeah,
and they like paint donkey on their like backs.
Yeah,
so
very demeaning.
Yeah,
behavior.
It's like they're treating them like shit, just off rip.
Yeah.
And they're basically like they're slaves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so then they start fighting, and what really happens here? I mean,
well, they storm this like fort that Caesar has.
They bring a couple of them in hostage and like start talking to them.
Yeah, they bring a couple guys in hostage. That's when you get the reveal that basically the apes that are following the military were Koba's people. But Caesar does the sick thing, and he's like, he lets the hostages go. Mm-hmm. The guys that like, what's the word for like when you give up? They surrendered. Mm-hmm. But he lets them go. He's like, tell your boss, to fuck off. Yeah. And sends them off.
He offers peace. Is what he does. Like these people came to his home and tried to kill them. And he sent them back alive and basically offered them peace and said, like, just fuck off.
Yeah.
We don't.
Please, God, just leave me alone.
Yeah. But the Kurna comes back.
Yeah.
He comes into the woods, and I don't think I'm skipping anything, right?
No, they talk amongst themselves about what the donkey said about how this colonel's more than a man. They view him as this. He's like,
it's basically
their Caesar.
Cult.
Yeah. It's like this isn't like what they've seen before.
Mm-hmm.
So there's some of that talking going on. Caesar's family, you get some time with Caesar and his family, and the colonel, played wonderfully by our boy Big Woody Harrelson. He leads a night stealth raid on Caesar's like facility, because the guy that they let go went right back and told the colonel where the fucking place was. Yeah, and they led a raid. So Caesar finds out that the raid's happening and is like sneaking around. Takes out a couple guys.
The light, like he sees something in the waterfall.
Yeah.
And then he walks up to it and sticks his arm out, and he sees like a rope, and he's like, "Oh fuck!"
Yeah.
Like, there's people here.
Which
and,
was
I love that it's
awesome
Caesar. Like,
visually.
I love that he's just like always on edge and always like awake and knows what's going on.
Yeah.
Everyone else is sleeping. He's the one that realized that people were there. So he starts alerting everyone, and he goes to find who?
He goes and gets like some guards together. There's a couple people like on the lookout, and he's like, gather like the homies.
Yeah.
We got some fuckery to do.
Yeah.
So they take out like basically most of the guys there, and then someone asks him about something. I don't remember exactly, but it like makes him think like, oh fuck, I gotta get back to. Oh, I remember. They take out the guards that are the people invading, and on the radio you hear mission accomplished, King Kong is dead. I repeat, King Kong is dead. So he runs back to his like bedroom, and the colonel's there like at the waterfall about to rappel up, and he turns and looks at him, and then he looks at the fucking apes' bodies there, and he fucking killed his wife and his son.
It's this great sequence where they sort of shoot it and edit it like a Western.
Yeah.
And you get this up close shot of Woody Harrelson's eyes looking at Caesar, and Caesar looking back at him, and you get this slow-mo shot of the camera panning over to Caesar seeing his family has been killed by the colonel, and you see the anger like come over Caesar, and he runs after him and grabs onto the rope, and then he like kind of tries to get up to the colonel for a little bit, but he cuts off the rope, and Caesar falls down, and really fucking sad.
Yeah. Oh, and you picked up on the cave gunfire thing that Matt Reeves also put in Batman.
Oh yeah, he did. Matt Reeves did the same like thing where there's no light in the scene except for the muzzle.
Yeah.
Like the muzzle flash. So yeah, I saw that, and I leaned over to Carl, and I was like, yeah, he did that before. Like he did that before the Batman.
Batman.
Yeah. It's just, I guess that's his thing. I don't know.
I mean, keep doing it. I love it.
It's pretty fucking awesome.
That whole night raid was outstanding.
Yeah, I love the green lasers that they used.
Yeah, the green lasers
gives the scene a very cool look.
I also liked like whenever he saw the rope, Caesar immediately would like, he didn't sound the alarm. He didn't like freak out. He instantly was like,
low.
What the fuck do we do?
Yeah.
Like, how do I eliminate this?
Yeah. So Caesar decides that the best thing to do is, first of all, the apes need to get the fuck out of there, because now the military knows where they are.
Yeah. They had been trying to find like a different place to go for a while.
Yeah, it was a temporary place where they were at.
Yeah.
So he says, y'all go this way, try to find somewhere to live, and I'm going to go fuck up the colonel.
Yeah.
That's the plan. So fucking get with it. And the apes don't like it. They say they need Caesar with them, and like just come with them. Don't worry about the colonel. And Caesar just gets overcome by his vengeance.
Yeah.
And what's so amazing about the plot of this movie and how it connects to Dawn is how judgmental the audience and Caesar is over Koba and Dawn for being a slave to his vengeance and a slave to his trauma. And in war, that's what happens to Caesar. The same thing that the villain of the last movie was doing is now happening to Caesar.
Yeah.
And that's one of the most like full circle plot elements you could possibly do.
Yeah.
It humanizes Koba. Like it makes the whole trilogy better.
Yeah.
The war makes the entire trilogy better because you don't see. I mean, obviously Caesar is like better than Koba, but it just humanizes everyone, and Caesar isn't this perfect specimen that can do no wrong, and Koba wasn't just this evil-hearted person. Like,
Yeah.
they're all apes, and they all have their. I mean, I want to say like they're all human, but obviously they're not human. But you get what I'm trying to say by like they're all vulnerable,
Yeah.
and so the whole course of war is Caesar spiraling down and becoming what Koba was in Dawn, and people keep warning him, and like it's when Luca dies.
Yeah.
Which I may be jumping ahead a little bit, I don't know, but Luca dies, and then Maurice is like, we need to turn back. Like, this is fucked. We need to go back to the other apes. And then Caesar says the colonel needs to pay. And Maurice says, you sound like Koba right now.
Yeah.
And Caesar was like, he gets pissed off, and he's like, I knew you guys shouldn't have come. You guys need to fuck off. I'm going to handle this on my own.
Yeah.
And obviously, that's not going to happen. Not with the homies.
Not with the boys.
Yeah.
But no, you're 100% right. And when we finished the trilogy, I had some time to reflect, and I told you that I think I like War more than Dawn.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because of that. It's because, like, obviously Caesar's been through some of not the best stuff with him being in the zoo. And he was abused, but he's never really like felt tremendous loss like he has in this movie.
Yeah, Caesar has never really been provoked to go down like a dark path.
Yeah.
Everything's been reasonably like I mean, I don't want to discredit him and say everything's been easy for him, but like he's never been faced with this kind of adversity.
He's been able to keep his head on straight for the most part.
Yeah.
He's a very, very intelligent creature.
Mm-hmm.
And he thinks intelligently. He thinks about things in like, if I do this, then this means this.
Yeah.
So he's always thinking ahead. And in this movie, he's pushed to the point of just acting before he thinks.
Mm-hmm.
And when this happens, like when he starts going down this path, it like everything kind of falls back because he sends the apes off, and only Maurice and Luca come with him.
Mm-hmm.
Maurice, Luca, and Rocket come with him.
Yeah.
And it becomes this very small scale story.
Yeah.
And he kind of goes in this spiral. He starts seeing these visions of Koba. He's being haunted by Koba's like existence.
Mm-hmm.
So the scale of the movie drastically downsizes into this like traveling sequence almost of them trying to find the colonel,
Mm-hmm.
trying to put together like they're kind of in the humans world now, so they're trying to put together what the fuck's going on because now weird stuff's happening that they're seeing. They're like, what does this mean?
Yeah.
Because the simian flu is now advanced into something more.
Yeah.
And so all this weird stuff's happening. They're trying to find the colonel, and he's haunted by these visions of Koba, and then it's snowing on top of it. I love everything about it.
Yeah.
There's not a single thing I don't like.
Also, the idea of the simian flu mutating and now becoming, basically, if you get it, it removes your ability to speak, and it removes your intelligence, and basically makes you an ape.
Yeah.
Not like the apes in this movie, because the apes in this movie have ALZ 112, so they're intelligent, but like a real life ape.
They're being
Basically,
jumped forward in like evolution, and we're like going back to cavemen, basically.
Yeah.
Oh, and Caesar fucking shoots a guy in this movie too, which is crazy.
What scene?
The first camp that they go to looking for the colonel when they pick up the little girl. Like that guy's got the wood.
Oh,
and he
yeah.
goes to draw his gun, and Caesar fucking blasts him.
He does, but like he didn't have a choice.
He didn't have a choice.
He also
but
didn't
like,
give a fuck though.
Like before that, we don't see Caesar with guns. We don't see him like he does everything to avoid killing people. He tries to run if he can.
Yeah.
He fucking shot that guy.
Yeah. I mean, that was like, it's him or us type of situation.
But he was also going to leave the girl, too.
Yeah. And I love that Maurice was, he was like, I hear you, but fuck you.
Yeah.
We're taking her.
Only Maurice can do some shit like that.
Yeah. Maurice is the only person with enough brownie points with Caesar to, like, have his way.
Yeah.
Like, if fucking Bad Ape says some shit like that,
dude,
like,
he's getting
go
stood
fuck
up
yourself.
on.
Give me your coat. You don't earn. You haven't earned it anymore.
And then that scene when Maurice is with the little girl, and it's like this up close shot on Maurice's face. It looks outstanding.
Every
It's so
fucking shot in the
incredible.
movie looks outstanding, dude.
It wouldn't surprise me if they were like, yeah, for that shot, I
We
just
got
got
a
an
real
orangutan.
orangutan.
Yeah. I just found an orangutan that looked just like Maurice, and had him stand there and make noises.
Yeah. I want to say the visual effects in War are even better than they are in Dawn, which maybe just comes down to the setting, and I like how the snow reacts to like the visual effects of the ape, because I would just imagine that's a really hard thing to do.
It could be. War's also kind of a darker movie too.
It is.
Compared
But like
to
there's
Dawn.
scenes where you're getting these like up close shots of Caesar, like when later in the movie when he's like tied up and he's getting water thrown on him and he's freezing, and the water, you can see the water from earlier is like freezing into his
Yeah,
hair.
dude. You can see his breath.
So there's just so much more like textures in their skin because of the weather.
That could be what it is.
And he's like older, so he has more wrinkles. It's, I don't know. I mean, there, like I said with Dawn, like there is no flaws in Dawn, and the VFX are perfect. But I think the setting makes the visual effects seem a little more impressive in War.
Yeah.
But yeah, they take the girl. They're on the beach, and then they see a bunch of soldiers like marching. So then they start following them, and they find the camp, and they see these apes like hung up on the outskirts of the camp, and Caesar gets caught.
Oh, shit! Before they find that, sorry, I forgot. They find like a small base camp at one point when they find him on the beach.
About Bad Ape.
No, not Bad Ape, but they find Winter.
We forgot about Bad Ape too.
We
But
did
yeah,
forget about
we can
Bad
talk
Ape.
about Winter.
Yeah, so Winter was an ape from his original group that turned on them and went to go work with the humans because he was scared. He thought the humans were gonna he didn't think they could win a war against the humans.
Mm-hmm.
So he's now a donkey, and so fucking Caesar rolls in there, and he's like, "Because of you, my family's dead."
Yeah.
And in this Winter starts to freak out, so the group like jumps on him and is trying to keep him from alerting a guard as he's walking by.
Yeah.
And Caesar accidentally fucking kills him.
Yeah. And it's like he didn't mean to, but he also doesn't care.
Yeah.
So, you know.
And it's these little seeds that are being planted as they're like on their journey to the colonel, that you start seeing like how far gone Caesar is getting.
Yeah. How bad it really is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also, we forgot the scene where they meet Bad Ape.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. So they're at this tower, and they leave the girl down on the horse on the ground, and they see this like person about to like shoot the girl, and so that's Luca, right? That yells.
Yeah,
Luca's so alive at the
Luca
time.
fucking drops down from the tower. This
Yeah.
big ass grill.
Luca just
howls.
fucking roars at this guy.
Yeah.
And he takes off on a horse, so there's this chase, and then they find him. He's backed into a corner, and he throws his gun out, and he just goes, "Bad Ape." And so he starts telling his backstory about how he's from a zoo and how the people would like beat him and call him a bad ape, and so he just kind of goes by that now. And he had a family, and they're all dead, and he's alone, and he's just excited to see people, like to see apes.
Yeah.
got so excited when he saw apes.
Yeah.
He started showing them. It was like show and tell. He started showing them all his stuff.
Yeah, he started bringing them all of his stuff. It was like, you guys got to check this out.
Yeah.
And there's a scene, so they go to Bad Ape, and he's got these military rations, and he was like, where'd you get these? Caesar's like, if you have these, then you've seen the military.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, no, bad place. Bad place. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, can you take me there? And he's like, no, I'm not going there.
No.
But everyone's asleep, and Bad Ape asks Caesar if he has a family, and he's like, I did. They were killed. And the Bad Ape goes, I had a family. And he goes, maybe. And he's like, do you think the guy that killed your family is there? And Caesar goes, maybe. And he's like, maybe I'll take you.
Yeah.
And there's this bond that they have over their loss that's like, okay.
I don't know. I kind of got the vibe in that scene that Caesar didn't really give a fuck that Bad Ape had a family and lost it. His reaction to Bad Ape telling him his family died was like, I don't really give a fuck.
I don't think it was I don't give a fuck. I think there was a mutual like understanding of like they know what each other's kind of happening right now. Because Bad Ape shut that shit. He's like, I'm not taking you to Human Zoo. No way.
Yeah. Even
so
he did.
He did, but it was because he found out about like what Caesar had going on.
Yeah.
So they get up with Bad Ape. They go to the Human Zoo. Luca gets killed. Well, he sacrificed himself to save Caesar.
R.I.P. Luca.
Yeah.
Homie.
And God, dude, my wife watched it with us, started crying because he looks up at him and he goes, "At least I was able to save you this time." And I was like, "Oh my God, Luca, come on, come on,
Stop
dude,
it.
You knock it off, you rascal."
Yeah, you rascal. So then they see these apes like hung up on the edge, on the outskirts of the camp, and Caesar gets blapped.
Yeah, dude, that's also such cool storytelling. Like you see the ape that's strung up, but it's got the body paint of Caesar's tribe on it. So you're like, these are what the fuck? These are Caesar's people. Mm-hmm. And then he gets fucking
he gets like knocked out.
Yeah,
and when he goes and talks to the colonel. I don't know.
The colonel comes and talks to him, and I love each interaction that Caesar has with the colonel because they both like read into what's going on with each other like perfectly.
They're both really smart.
Yeah,
and I think is it the first time they meet when the colonel's like, you came back to save your apes, and then he said, I came for you.
Yeah,
that reminds me of The Dark Knight Rises.
No,
except it's better.
I came back to stop you.
So you came back to die with your city.
Yeah.
It is a lot this better. Time it's actually good.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, so they start having a discussion. Fucking Caesar's like, you killed my family. I offered you peace, and you killed my family.
Yeah.
So you're a real jerk for that.
So Caesar gets put in basically the cage. They've got the apes separated from like the children, and all the apes are forced to work like basically day in day out. They have to reinforce the walls of this fort that the military has taken over. And one of the apes tells Caesar like, they haven't given us any food or water. Like, people are fucking dying. We're starving to death. And Caesar goes out to work in the prison, and one of these orangutans, is skin and bones orangutan, drops like a rock, and the military guys send one of the donkeys in to fucking pull him out and starts whipping him. And Caesar like is sitting there watching this happen, and he gets up and fucking yells, "Leave him alone." Yeah. And I'm like, dude,
dick hard, because this is Caesar. For this entire movie, ever since his family's been killed, he's been extremely selfish, and he's not been the same Caesar that we're used to. He hasn't been the leader of the apes. He's been consumed by his vengeance, and this was the first moment of like the real Caesar coming back.
Yeah, and you hear it in
defending
his voice.
apes.
Like there's so much sorrow like in his voice when he says leave him alone.
And he has no power right now.
Yeah.
He's chained up just like the rest of the apes and can do nothing, but he still says leave him.
Yeah.
And
as soon as he stands up and says leave him, dude, all the other apes take their like shit that they're doing and throw it on the ground.
Yeah.
In like following Caesar.
Yeah.
So the fucking colonel tells the donkey to bring like Caesar and the other ape over.
Mm-hmm.
And they whip Caesar and he's like, tell everyone to get back to work. And Caesar goes, give us food and water.
Mm-hmm.
And he fucking pulls a gun out and puts it in Caesar's face. And Caesar leans forward and goes, give us food and water.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally, just to keep Caesar alive, one of the apes just like starts picking up their shit and starts working.
Well, the colonel shoots the orangutan.
He does shoot the orangutan, yeah.
And that was Woody Harrelson's idea. He came up with that on the spot. That wasn't in the script.
Oh shit.
Yeah. He told Matt Reeves, like, I think it's important that the audience knows that this character is capable of doing something like that at any time.
Yeah.
So for the rest of the movie, they're aware of that, and there's nothing like he won't do.
Yeah.
And so Matt Reeves was like, "Hell yeah, like, let's
yeah,
do that.
man, sure, yeah, let's do it.
Sure, man, yeah, let's do that. Yeah, of course.
What a cool guy,
Yeah.
dude.
So yeah, that was like the first time Caesar in the whole movie, like since his family died, that he was returning to form, sort of. And I think how I kind of interpret a lot of the movie is once he gets into the camp and sees all of his apes being mistreated again, it sort of like clears his head and it makes him rethink what he's been doing, and it makes him realize that caring about his apes and protecting his apes is a lot more important than getting revenge for his personal vendetta. And I just think that that's like beautiful. Kind of.
It is, yeah. It's like, he was so consumed and going down this path, and like he abandoned his apes.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what happened.
Yeah.
You abandon the apes and now they're all captured. They're all suffering now because you wanted to go out and get vengeance.
Yeah.
So it's definitely, that's really heavily reinforced in the movie. Basically, anytime he's in the prison.
Yeah.
And even when he's strung up, he's like halfway dead basically, and he sees he has another vision of Koba.
Mm-hmm.
And that's fucking genius.
Yeah. Because he's basically being tormented mainly because I think he feels guilty for how he treated Koba, now knowing how he felt.
Yeah.
Like, now that he's been in his shoes, he feels guilty for judging him. And, I mean, I don't know what else he was supposed to do when there's an ape that's actively putting the rest of the apes in danger. You gotta do what you gotta do. But, yeah, I think that's what the point of the flashbacks or the hallucinations of Koba was that it's his guilt.
Yeah.
And his changing perspective on Koba and what he went through now that he's dealing with it himself. But so yeah, the apes keep getting fucked with, but they eventually get food and water.
Yeah, after that. Oh shit! After that, they get food and water, and everyone's like, "Dude, you saved our lives."
Yeah,
this
and
is
the other homies, Maurice, Bad Ape, and Rocket, are digging a hole underneath the prison.
Yeah, they find the tunnels.
Yeah, and so the apes start planning this escape, and it's really cool the way they like do it. You have like the three apes on the outside building the hole, building this tunnel, and then you have like Caesar. He's like counting steps and saying like it's 35 steps from this to this, and then they're like signing it.
Yeah.
And somebody's got binoculars, like they're really far away, and they're like communicating with each other.
Yeah.
It's really fucking cool.
So
how
on
they're
the
doing
inside, Caesar's like taking note of patrols, spacing, like where they need to go underground to be able to get to stuff, and then Maurice is going underground to get shit. And also, we finally get an ape throwing shit at somebody.
In the third movie, we
Yep.
finally get it.
If that doesn't make it a masterpiece, dude.
I don't know what would.
Dude,
Dude, they made that shit steamy. It was freezing cold, and that poop looked blazing hot.
Yeah, dude.
I'll
That would
tell you
definitely stung the old
And the guy's
starfish on the
reaction
way
was
up.
so funny. He got hit with poop. He wipes it off his neck and looks at it, and he goes, "Ah!"
He just like freezes. He's like,
Yeah.
oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. And it was fucking, of all the people, fucking our boy Rocket was slinging steamers, dude.
The homie.
Yep.
Flinging
Hit him
poop.
twice. Two-pieced him.
Yep. Two-pieced him.
Yeah.
The Mayweather one, too.
Yeah, dude.
The Mayweather one poo.
Oh my.
Oh.
Take it easy.
The one poo McGregor.
You gotta take it easy.
Yeah, they start hatching this escape plan, and there's a scene where Caesar's tied up, and I don't know if it's Winter or if it's another donkey, but
No, Winter. Caesar killed
Winter's
Winter. It's
fucking
the
dead.
main donkey. I
the
don't
main
remember the
donkey
main
guy.
donkey's name.
He has this big bucket of water, and he's like, he tells Caesar to like drink it, and then he pours it on him.
Yeah.
It makes me sad.
Dude,
it's freezing
it's
cold.
like he immediately he's like, "Fuck!" Like,
And
you
you
see
know-
his body like tense up.
And you know the fact that Caesar tried to drink it proves how fucking thirsty he was. Because if he could just thug it out, like drinking, like someone offering you water while they have you chained up is like, you accepting the water is kind of like a sign of weakness. Like
Yeah.
most people would just be like, go fuck yourself. I'm not drinking or eating anything.
I'm fucking chained up right now.
Yeah, but the fact that he actually tried to drink it, I feel like just proves how thirsty he really was, and then he gets it poured on him and makes me
There's
sad.
also a moment that's like, I think I tear up almost every time, but it's right after he gets the water dumped on him. The colonel's like, if he's alive in the morning, he works with everyone else. Mm-hmm. And that night, Caesar's he's in a pen by himself, and he's shivering. And the little girl that they picked up comes in, brings him a bucket of water to drink from, and then across the way in the other pen with all the other apes, they signal her to come over, and she grabs something from him, comes back, and they had put aside a portion of the grain that they were being fed for Caesar. And I was like, she dumps it in his hands, or she's got it in her hands, and he like looks up at her, and he looks at the other apes, and they all stand up and do the apes together strong thing.
Fuck yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Fucking beautiful, dude.
Yeah. And she
It gets me every time.
She gives him the toy that Maurice gave her. And so the toy's in the cage. And then when the colonel comes to get Caesar later on, he's like, how the fuck did this get in here? And he picks up
He
the
actually
toy.
said, he goes, how the fuck did this get in here?
Yeah. So he picks up the toy and looks at it. And that's what inevitably fucking kills him.
Yeah.
That's how he gets the flu. And what's so like poetic about it, I guess, is that he's been trying to stop the simian flu by killing the apes, but the reason that he got the simian flu was because of a human.
Yeah.
It was because the little girl that had it put that toy in Caesar's cage, and then he picked up the toy. So it's just very like
I also think that it's another case of like the protagonist and antagonist mirroring one another in this, because the colonel is basically like the path Caesar was going down. People worship him like in a cult, the way that the apes like look to Caesar as like this this leader, this emperor almost. And the advancing flu like killed his son, and he started seeing it kill everyone like in the military. So he's leading a rogue group, a rogue military squad to kill all the apes. In his head and his twisted mind, it's to save the human race. But it still passes from person to person. It's not like it's just apes passing it to humans.
Yeah.
So, and it's, you know, it is a vengeful thing. He says it's not, but it is. Like, he had to kill his son because of the apes.
Yeah.
So I think there's some of that too.
Yeah, and they also do a good job of making the Colonel like he's an intimidating villain, but you also get where he's coming from.
Yeah.
And he's a sympathetic villain, and he's not just I'm a bad guy because I'm a bad guy. It's a well-developed character. Yeah, so then the escape happens, but
yeah, Caesar finds out that they're reinforcing the walls because they're a rogue group, and like the rest of the military is coming to kill the colonel. Because he was like, if you want me to step down, you got to come over here and stop me. So this is like his last stand against the rest of the military.
yeah.
So the escape happens. They start dropping people down the tunnel, and the only person really left is Rocket and Caesar. And Caesar's like, you go. I am like Koba. I can't let go of my anger, my hatred. So he goes up, does this sick like climbing stuff to get up into the colonel's like tower. And he sees the colonel, or he's like looking around, all the shit's like tore up in his place, and he sees the colonel fucking with the nosebleed, not able to talk, and the doll's like right below him. And it's like, fuck, dude.
Yeah.
He got it.
Yep.
And then he sees the colonel's gun, he grabs it and puts it up to the colonel's head, and the colonel like cocks it for him and leans in like he wants to die because he knows he's got the flu. So he's like, he's sick but not completely sick yet. And then Caesar like can't do it. He can't bring himself to kill him. So he puts the gun down and walks away, and the colonel kills himself. And then this war starts happening. Everyone's trying to get in to get the colonel. Caesar runs away, and he sees that his apes like running from the rocks to the mountainside is like has been seen, and they're like opening fire on the apes. So he grabs a
Grenade belt.
bunch of grenades, and he's fucking
Hurling
flying.
these grenades.
Yeah, he's throwing grenades all over the place.
Yeah.
And he's trying to stick one like right at this fuel tank just below that big gun that's shooting at the apes, and gets hit with an arrow from the guy that he spared the first time. He shoots him with an arrow. First of all, fuck you, dude.
Yeah. You're a
And
bitch.
second of all, you've got a crossbow and you're in the military. You might as well have a fucking trumpet, dude.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
So he gets shot with an arrow, and he can't throw the grenade. And the donkey's up there, like, loading the gun and watching all these apes die. And he's watching the humans attack each other. And he has, like, for the first moment in the movie, like, this moment of, like, fuck, dude. This is wrong.
Yeah.
And he grabs a grenade launcher and fucking blows up the guy with the crossbow. Blows him to pieces.
Yep.
And then he gets killed. Caesar blows up the fuel tank, blasts a fucking huge hole in the wall. The apes are able to escape to the mountainside. Caesar's running over there too, and a fucking avalanche happens. And it's insane visuals from the avalanche. Like, it looks outstanding.
Yep.
So he climbs Caesar climbs a tree, and then the avalanche ends, and he looks around, and it's another moment that fucking gets me, dude. He looks around, and there's this like huge like relief on his face, and he sees all the other apes, or most of them, all of them that survived, on the trees like next to him. I was like, fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah.
So after all that, the colonel's dead. The good military, kills all the other bad military, and they escape to the place that they had been trying to go in the first place.
Mm-hmm. Which I don't think ever got a name.
I don't think it did either, but it looks gorgeous.
It's just this desolate place that they have all to themselves, where they can chill,
where they can finally be at peace.
Yeah, and Caesar, it's led to believe that he dies.
Yeah.
I guess it's kind of like a John Wick 4 ending. I guess you don't really know. Like, I guess they could always pull the switcheroo, but I believe that he's dead and that we'll probably never see him again. Like, I don't think they'll ever make another Caesar movie.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
So I don't think it's something we have to like
speculate on.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree with it. I think he died.
I think whether he is or not, we'll never see him again. So I'm just going to kind of...
Yeah. But he's talking with the homie, Maurice. And he's like, apes are home. Like, that's what's important. Because, like, at first, Maurice sees that he's injured, and he's like, we got to help you. And he's like, it's too late. Like, this is the end.
Yeah.
And that moment of him and Maurice, like, hanging out just before he dies, that fucking gets me too, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
That shit's tough.
Mm-hmm.
And then he finally slumps over and dies.
And the apes are chilling.
Yep, the apes are free. Caesar's free of his hate and his anger. And Maurice is that fucking dude.
Yep. They need to make a Maurice movie.
Oh my god, dude! A Maurice spinoff? Maurice
Planet
and Rocket?
of the Maurice.
Dude. Fucking Lethal Weapon, Maurice and Rocket. That'd
back
be crazy.
to back
oh
on the
my
cover.
God. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, so that whole trilogy is just such a cohesive and beautiful story when you look at it as a whole. Each movie's story works on its own, and then all three of them together just create something beautiful.
Yeah.
And I love it.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite trilogies.
So fucking good, dude.
Yeah. I'm not sure. Andy Serkis.
Dude, yeah. Incredible.
We got to stop acting like motion capture performances aren't performances, because it's just as important and just as difficult as playing a normal character.
You know what's crazy
if
to
not
me?
more difficult.
What's crazy to me is like voice acting, right? Like, people don't really take it as serious because they think it's like less hard. But like, motion capture isn't like that. It is. I think it's significantly harder.
Yeah. If Caesar is getting mad in a scene, Andy Serkis has to get mad. Like, it's not CGI, it's motion capture.
Yeah.
Like, he's the point of reference. They're just adding stuff onto his face, but his facial emotions are what are in the movie.
Yeah.
And what he says are what's in the movie. So,
but then you're also in a situation where, like, you're supposed to be standing in an army of gorillas, and it's just you and a bunch of dudes in gray suits.
Yeah.
And you're like, fuck, I have to pretend to be a gorilla that's pissed off.
Yeah.
That's fucking hard.
Yeah. So, Andy Serkis was a perfect casting, and what more do you have to say other than that? I mean, he's one of my Caesar's one of my favorite characters in fiction, and Andy Serkis just fucking nailed it.
Yeah, the guy that played Koba too. I don't remember his name, but I've seen him in some other stuff, and he's really fucking good.
Yeah. Yeah, he's great.
I've seen him in a lot of well, not a lot, but I've seen him in a couple of like very B grade movies, like from Australia or something. I don't remember exactly.
You know who played Bad Ape?
I do.
Are you
Our
gonna say
boy
it?
Zahn.
Yeah,
Zane.
Steve Zahn.
Zahn.
That's the fucking boy.
Yeah.
He's really funny.
I mean, the Scoopers will probably know him as the carrot guy from Daddy Daycare, but or was he the broccoli? No, he was the carrot for sure.
Let me see. Oh, he's not on the poster? What the fuck?
Of Daddy Daycare?
Yeah, he's not on there.
Holy shit.
It says his name's Marvin, but he's not on the cover. I don't know.
He's dressed as one of those two vegetables in Daddy Daycare.
Yeah. He's also in Chicken Little and Stuart Little. He's in both Littles.
Oh shit, dude!
That's a crazy
the double
resume.
feature. He was in Strange Wilderness that I thought was funny.
Yeah, but he's really good as Bad Ape, and Bad Ape could have easily went south in such a dark movie. He could have been the Jar Jar Binks of this movie, and never once is he. He's always welcome. He's always a welcome addition to the movie.
Yeah,
because he adds some nice levity to it, but he's very sincere, and it never really comes off as annoying.
Yeah,
and that's probably just all because of Steve Zahn, I would assume.
Oh yeah,
just the way that he played it never felt annoying and always just felt like cute.
Yeah, that's something else too. Is the line delivery of everything. Almost everyone, like most of the apes can speak, but it is hard for them to speak, except for Caesar. Caesar talks with relative ease.
Yeah.
But like Bad Ape has to talk like there's a lot of effort in talking.
Mm-hmm.
So all those people, like everyone that talks in the Planet of the Apes movies, like Caesar sometimes, but like they have to talk like it's really hard to talk.
Yeah, because it should be.
Exactly.
Because they're apes speaking English, so
Yeah,
it's not their first language.
Yeah, they understand it, but like their vocal cords aren't made for that.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think that's pretty much the end of our Apes discussion.
Yeah, just fantastic movies.
Shout out to Matt Reeves. He's the boy. Better than PTA. Suck a dick.
Keep the mustache. I like it. Sue me.
Yeah. By the way, Matt Reeves is a fucking dork.
Oh yeah.
At the beginning of both, I've listened to both of the commentaries for Dawn and War, and at the beginning of both commentary tracks, he talks about how he grew up watching the Planet of the Apes movies, and he always wanted to be an ape. That's how he starts both commentaries.
That's crazy.
So I love that he grew up with the Apes movies, and he has a passion for them. But I just always think it's funny talking about how he wanted to be an ape.
I just wanted to be an ape.
Yeah. He's like, I just thought it was so cool. All the makeup and stuff. It just looked like so much fun being an ape. I was like, all right, bud. Let's calm down.
Sure, bud.
Sure, buddy. So the next thing we need to talk about is Dream Scenario.
Yeah.
These will be two shorter discussions because we're doing no spoilers, but I had a really good time with Dream Scenario.
I did too. The audience... No, it was Godzilla that was worse.
Godzilla's audience was bad. Yeah. Dream
Scenario had like an okay audience.
We had a guy to the left of us that was like fun.
Yeah,
he was laughing just like really loud, like at the same stuff we were laughing at. Yeah. So it made it funnier that there was like other people laughing.
Yeah. No, I liked Dream Scenario. I thought it was really funny. Great performance from Nicolas Cage. I liked the crazy story to the whole thing. I didn't really think about it much afterwards, though. Kind of watched it, had fun, and then that was kind of it.
Yeah, I pretty much value it as just like a comedy.
Yeah.
Like, if I rewatched it again, I'd pretty much just be rewatching it because I think it's funny.
Yeah.
But it also is like a really original concept.
Yeah.
And Nicolas Cage is amazing in the movie.
Yeah.
I feel like I haven't seen a ton of his filmography, but it's one of the best performances I've seen from him.
I'd say
he completely embodies this character.
Yeah.
And I don't know, the concept of the movie is just really funny.
It is.
Especially at the beginning when he's first starting to show up in everyone's dreams, and they keep saying he doesn't do anything in them, and he just stands there. So like he's a college professor and he's in a class and he's like, all right, tell me about like your dreams. Tell me what was happening in them. And then it's a montage of us seeing these people's dreams of like crazy shit happening, like them getting chased by alligators or something, and he's just standing there. Yeah. And it's really funny. So you get a bunch of scenes like that, and Nicolas Cage is he's playing this goofball, and like there's this one part where someone walks away and they're like, all right, I'll see you later, and then he's like, oh yeah, and like I'm butchering that. It's much funnier when he does it, but it's like an accurate representation of in real life when you try to say something and it doesn't come out right at all, and you just move on.
So I can't even imagine trying to recreate that and making it sound genuine.
It's the only time it's ever happened in a movie where it seemed like it was on accident.
Like he had a line that he was supposed to say and actually forgot it.
It seemed like that wasn't supposed to happen because it felt so natural. But yeah, the movie's it's really funny. I'm trying to think of like other things that I found really funny about it, but
there's a lot that I don't want to say for spoilers, but like there's some all the stuff. Basically, the first half of the movie, up and like until him standing in the corner, was funny. I also loved Greg. Mm-hmm. His appearance for like the 2 seconds. Yeah. Everything he did was funny.
Yeah.
It's the second half where it does this like transition that it was all right. I mean, it worked, but it just wasn't the best.
Yeah.
Like I kind of lost steam after that.
Basically, the first half is a comedy, and the second half takes like a darker A24 turn, like you would expect it to. And there's nothing really wrong with what they did, but I just enjoyed the comedy more.
Yeah, I was on such a high from the comedy that it felt like I went down.
Yeah, and it felt like it was kind of like trying to make a point about fame.
Yeah.
But it was a very surface level point, and it wasn't really doing anything interesting that we haven't seen before. And I don't know, like I feel like the social commentary of it kind of just maybe they thought it was a little smarter than it actually was.
Yeah,
with what it was saying.
I could see that.
But I definitely enjoyed it a lot, pretty much just as a comedy and with some great performances. And I like the way it was shot too.
Yeah.
Some of the dream sequences were really well done too, because there were like in the opening scene, it's a dream sequence, and this girl starts like floating, and the leaves around her start floating, and it looked really good.
Yeah.
I just thought that was cool.
Yeah, I really liked the aesthetic of it. The dreams do look really good. I think that second half tone change just kind of like dragged it down just a little bit. Mm-hmm. I think I'd give it like a 3.5.
Yeah, that's what I gave it.
Yeah.
Gave it a 3.5. Enjoyed it. It's let's see where I have it in my ranking of the year. Did I put it in there yet? I have it at 19 right now. Out of 48. I have it right behind The Creator. Wait a second. Do I really have that there?
I didn't think you would
on
put
my
it behind
rankings right now, I'm looking at 18 is The Creator, 19 is Dream Scenario, and 20 is Anatomy of a Fall.
Whoa.
So I thought I liked Anatomy of a Fall more than that, but Past Me is saying otherwise.
Maybe you hated it.
Maybe I did. I don't know. I didn't think I had The Creator over it, but I might have to lower The Creator. I'd probably put The Creator on like one night when I go to bed. It's just something like cool to look at while I while I'm about to sleep.
Yeah,
I don't know if
it's fantastic.
I don't know if I'd sit down like full attention and rewatch The Creator.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way, unfortunately.
Maybe. I don't know. The only reason I'd watch it is probably so I can watch that one scene where they're in the city and it looks like Blade Runner.
Oh, I thought you were gonna watch it for the barrel guys,
Barrel
the tank
guys. Too, yeah.
Yeah.
And the Radiohead needle drop was pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I've got it at 19 for the year. Pretty enjoyable watch.
Yeah.
I'd recommend it. And then yesterday we saw Godzilla -1.
It's fucking awesome, dude. I love big stuff. I love the big kaiju stuff, big creatures, big monsters.
Yep.
And that gets me going every time. Real Steel, big robots, Pacific Rim, fucking Kong Skull Island, all of it.
Gimme.
I become like a 4-year-old when you put that on there.
Gimme.
Yeah. A quick one of those.
Gimme that shit.
And Godzilla -1 is no different. It's just fucking havoc. It's carnage. I will say I do think I prefer the overall design of the more recent American Godzilla versus this one. Mainly the face.
I think I'd agree.
And there's some changes they did with like his fireball that I do think I prefer the old version of his fireball, the American version of his fireball, instead of what they did here. But it's still very cool. It's not like they did anything wrong. They just went a different way.
Yeah.
And I just liked the other way better.
Yeah.
But overall, really good. I have seen some people say they think it's like the movie of the year. I don't think it's that. I don't think it's that.
Cool it with the Godzilla remarks.
I don't think it's that, but
yeah.
They do a really good job setting up characters that you really care about, that you're invested in, and they stick to Godzilla being a bit of a problem and not introducing another problem for Godzilla to try and like look like less of a problem,
which is what I prefer.
Yeah.
I'm not really big on the whole like Godzilla being good or being an anti-hero type of thing. I'm not sure if I buy it. I think he works better as just a big fucker that's just a demon. Like he's just in goblin mode all the time.
Do you buy it with King Kong?
King Kong is more human. So yeah.
Because he's like a real like animal?
Yeah. Like Godzilla is a freak. But
he's
King
thick,
Kong's
though.
just a monkey. He's just a big monkey.
Yeah.
Monkeys are chill.
Yeah.
So that explains it.
I think it's your Planet of the Apes bias coming out.
King Kong's the homie. And Godzilla is just a fucking demon. And that's what I liked about this movie was that, like you said, they just stuck with Godzilla's bad.
Yep.
No anti-hero, we hate him at first, but then we need him when he's got to fight fucking Mothra.
Yeah.
And like none of that shit. Just he's bad. Big Godzilla, smash things, atomic breath, bad.
Yeah.
And the movie does what the American Godzilla movies can't, which is make interesting human characters.
Yeah.
The Godzilla American movies of the past 9 years look really good visually. Like the kaiju fights look awesome.
Oh, they look incredible.
But that's the only good parts of the movie are the 10 minutes of kaijus fighting. And movies are about 2 hours long. So you're getting about 10 good minutes of movie in 2 hours. So those movies just aren't very rewatchable. They're not very entertaining. But this movie is an example of how to do a Godzilla movie.
Yeah.
You don't mind like not seeing Godzilla on screen in this movie. Like you enjoy seeing the characters that you're watching.
Yeah.
So when he shows up, it's great. You're like, cool.
Yeah.
But you're not like just counting down the minutes because the story's so good. Apparently the budget for this is $15 million.
Whoa.
I don't know if... Listen.
That's pretty fucking nuts, dude.
I don't know if that includes like tax write-offs or something, or I don't know how that works. But if that's actually true, and
they wrote off half the movie, dude.
I don't know. I heard something weird about the. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, I don't know if that's how much it actually cost to make, but if that is true, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Because the movie looks great, and while there's like times where things can look a little choppy, and there maybe here and there there's a shot that doesn't look great.
Yeah, there's like a couple like movement stuff with Godzilla where you're like, that looks kind of weird.
It kind of looks like a toy.
Yeah.
At times, like,
but
he'll have like some choppy movement while he's walking.
Yeah, but if your budget's 15 mil,
but
it's incredible.
The entirety of The Flash looked bad, and that was $300 million.
Yeah.
And this $15 million movie looked amazing. And it's a $15 million movie that features Godzilla.
Yeah.
You know how difficult that is? Like Nightcrawler cost $7 to make.
Yeah.
So this was only double the budget of like a really small indie movie about just a guy driving around in a car.
Yeah.
Like in terms of things that are expensive to do in movies, like nothing happens in Nightcrawler that's like expensive to do.
Yeah.
And this costs $15 million. That's fucking crazy.
That's wild, dude.
Marvel needs to take notes.
Dude, they had to have just gotten
they're gonna go bankrupt if they keep wasting money on movies.
Yeah. Dude,
I don't know what the fuck they're doing.
They had to, like, for Godzilla, they had to have just gotten everyone to be like, hey, we need y'all to be in this movie for free.
Yeah.
And then that's it.
We'll get you lunch if you come act in this movie.
We'll make everyone a ham sandwich.
Yeah.
If you play in
I'll
this
boil
movie.
some eggs
Yeah.
if you come be in this movie. But yeah, I kind of liked how everyone in the movie acted with the Japanese acting style.
Yeah.
I just find it like some people get annoyed by it, but it just reminds me that I'm watching a Japanese movie and it's like part of the experience, and I wouldn't want it to be different.
Yeah, I like the over exaggeration and stuff too. The little, like, nothing wrong with it. That's just how they do it.
Yeah.
And no, it keeps me like in that world. There are a couple of like very anime-esque like times where like things like stop. They'll be like they'll like freeze time almost. And that part about it feels kind of weird. But
I disagree.
I mean, it just like I've never seen that done in a live action movie before. So maybe I'm just not used to it.
What exactly are you talking about?
There's like,
because when you're talking about it cutting out, I'm thinking about the atomic breath scene when he spits it out and then like the sound goes quiet and you see it from like a different angle.
No, I can't talk about what I'm talking about without spoiling it, so I'll just tell you later. But there's just a couple times where like it seems like not like the sound cuts out, but like time almost stops. And
time stops.
Yeah. Or like something will be actively like moving and then it will freeze. If that's any kind of a hint of what I'm talking about.
I feel like you can say what you're talking about without spoiling it.
It's when he goes down to the bottom and like freezes and like completely stops.
Oh.
And then there's also the plane thing where like he's actively doing something and then like stops and then you get like a long shot of the plane and then he still stopped doing that.
I
you know what I'm talking like
about
almost
now.
like time doesn't sync up properly. But that happens in anime. Like there'll be things will stop and then some big like thing will happen.
I get what you're saying now.
Yeah.
Cuz I thought you were talking about like like when something loud is supposed to happen.
No,
and
I
then
like that.
It cuts and it gets quiet. And I was
No,
like,
that's just
that literally
awesome.
happened in Oppenheimer.
No,
this
it's
year.
awesome.
I don't know what
It's
you're
awesome.
talking about. But yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Like the physics of something will just stop. Something that's in motion will stop very abruptly
Yeah.
on a dime, and it doesn't look natural.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it's just like kind of like time doesn't really sync sometimes. But like in anime, that'll happen. Like someone will be in like a battle here, and then things will stop, and then they'll do like that sharp noise, and then someone will like dive in from another place.
Yeah.
And like they're running across a field and then jumping, but that battle hasn't advanced at all. That kind of thing will happen, like happens a little bit in Godzilla.
Yeah.
And it just feels a little weird. There's nothing like crazy wrong with it.
Yeah. Yeah, but I didn't really have any flaws with it. I enjoyed it. I haven't seen many Godzilla movies. This is my 4th. I've seen the 3 American movies, and this is my favorite.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Not that that's difficult. I don't even know what my highest ranked out of those 3 is. I think they're all like 2.5s for me. I think Godzilla versus Kong may be like a 3 or a 3.5 or something. But
I haven't seen those in a while, dude.
Yeah,
We need to go back and watch the originals.
That's what I want to do.
Yeah.
I want to watch the one from '54.
Yeah.
Oh, the score.
Oh yeah.
I haven't seen the original Godzilla, but without even seeing it, I knew that they were doing a callback to the original score in -1, just because it sounds exactly how a Godzilla score would sound in 1954. So I'm assuming it's the same score.
Yeah.
And I just thought that was fucking awesome. I was listening to it at the gym today.
Yeah.
So let me
It plays
play a
out
little
like
part of it.
perfect. And then every time Godzilla's on the frame and you see him like start to light up, dude. Oh my god. Yeah. Fucking iconic.
That's fucking awesome.
Dude, every time he started to light up, I would like elbow nudge Logan and be like, shit's about to go down, dude.
Yeah. And the one thing that I thought like felt really new with this Godzilla movie that I hadn't seen in the other ones was how for a portion of the movie they're sort of doing like a Jaws thing.
Yeah.
And it's very effective and very nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
Like being out on this little wooden boat in the middle of the ocean with fucking Godzilla.
Yeah. Swimming around.
And there's this shot of Godzilla swimming under the big military boat that was fucking sick.
Yeah. Like seeing him standing up in like a city destroying shit, you already feel pretty helpless.
Yeah.
But you put me on a tiny boat and he's swimming and I'm like completely stranded.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just fucked.
Yeah.
I'm fucked.
Yeah. I'd be fucked if I was in a cruise ship. You could eat a cruise ship.
Yeah.
And I'm in a fucking goddamn John boat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fucked.
I'm in a fucking shrimp boat, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I gave it a 4. I had a very swell time.
Yeah. I
watching
landed at that same amount.
Yeah. Not movie of the year or anything. Not anything crazy. But yeah.
It's a really good
Enjoy it.
fucking Godzilla movie. And keep them fucking coming, dude. Give me monsters. Give me big shit, big robots, big monsters, big creatures.
Well, there's a King Kong X Godzilla movie coming out in a few months.
Why?
You just said keep it coming.
I mean, yeah, I want more movies, but why are they rolling straight into King Kong X Godzilla?
What do you mean rolling straight into?
Like who's doing the movie?
The same people that make all the Godzilla movies that we've seen.
The American ones?
Yeah.
Oh. They just did Godzilla versus Kong.
That was 2 years ago.
Yeah, but like do something new.
This is new.
I don't know. Like I'm happy about
See
it.
how in that one they were fighting and in this one they're teammates?
Oh,
See
is
how
that
that's
what they're
different?
doing?
Well, Well, yeah.
Oh, okay. It's gonna be cool. It's gonna be cool.
You're all over the place right now.
I don't know. Though, for some reason, my head instantly went to like they were fighting again. I was like, why are they still fighting now?
No. Blank X blank means with, not against.
Yeah. But for some reason, my head put like verses in when you said that.
I bet it did.
But
Because you drink milk.
yeah, no, I love big kaiju shit, dude.
Yep.
It's probably not going to be good, but I'm going to go watch it.
It's American.
Yeah.
Why would it be good?
I'm going to go watch it.
Why would we make a good Godzilla movie?
I'm going to make you come watch it with me.
You don't have to make me watch that. I'm going to watch it.
And
it's just going to be bad.
We're going to leave there and go. I'm going to be like, man, that was cool, but it was bad. That's what's going to happen. I'm pretty sure that's what I did with Godzilla versus Kong.
Man, I love the 10 minutes of that were good.
Man, that was cool till it wasn't.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna watch that. I get excited about watching stuff like that, even if I know it's not gonna be good. Like horror movies. I knew The Nun 2 was gonna be bad. Still watched it.
If you hadn't wanted to watch The Nun 2, I wouldn't have watched it.
Guess I'm just built different.
I guess so. You just like watching shit movies.
The question is, are we gonna see Night Swim?
Dude, I will watch Night Swim if that means I don't have to watch the new Trolls movie. Because Logan only knows about Night Swim, and I'm pretty sure she was on her phone during the Trolls promo. So
I don't think she'll actually care about seeing Night Swim.
I think when the time comes, maybe we just don't mention it. Like, if you don't come in and say Night Swim's in theaters, she's not going to know.
Oh, I have to tell the Scoopers this story about when we saw Dream Scenario. The friend I mentioned earlier that doesn't like movies was with us for Dream Scenario, and they played the Night Swim trailer, and then they played the Aquaman 2 trailer. And in the Night Swim trailer, it said by producer James Wan.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the Aquaman 2 trailer, it said directed by James Wan. And my friend leaned over to me and said, wait, that's the guy that made Night Swim. So he makes horror movies and Aquaman movies? And I said, there's a lot to unpack here.
There's a lot going on.
First of all, he's a producer on Night Swim. Doesn't mean it's going to be good.
Yeah.
Second of all, he does make horror movies, but it's not fucking Night Swim. He made Saw and The Conjuring and Insidious and Malignant. Like any horror movie you've seen in the last 10 years, probably made by James Wan.
Yeah.
So the fact that he made this connection between how weird it is that the director of Aquaman and the director also makes horror movies, but the horror movie he was referencing was Night Swim, upset me.
Did you have to fucking school him?
Yeah. I was like, dude, you're like, forget about Night Swim. Forget that exists. Don't bring that up ever again. Don't say Night Swim in my household.
Here's a scenario right now. Let me throw it at you. Night Swim comes out, and people say it's good. Now what do you do?
I get new friends. That's what I do. I delete all my social media, and I
you give up on the podcast and movies.
It's crazy that that's a real feature-length movie that's coming out. Yeah. I don't understand like the concept, like where that's gonna go.
What are you?
It
are
looks
you
like
a moron, dude? It's a haunted swimming pool.
It looks like
of course you can make.
It ends how short films end. If you've ever seen a horror short film, guess what? They're all bad.
Whoa.
Peekers. Except for Peekers. Sorry. I forgot about Peekers. All right. They're all bad except for Peekers. And they all end with like a jump scare that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Like no logic behind it. It just happens for shock value, and then it ends. And that's what Night Swim. That's what happened.
Yeah.
Polo. That's what happens.
That was really good, dude. That was.
Isn't that
if
what
y'all
he
haven't
says?
seen the trailer,
Now you have.
boom. You saw it here first, folks.
Isn't that what he says?
That is it's you became him. That's what he says. 1,000%.
I don't know why I'm feeling like he didn't say that.
She does. He does. Because she's like, Marco, I hear you. And she just doesn't open her eyes. She refuses to open them. Like she goes down. She's like, I'm gonna get you. And then she's like, about to get out of the pool and just doing it with her eyes closed. And you hear Polo.
If you scoopers out there haven't seen the trailer to Night Swim, don't.
Actually,
So there's that.
the guy that you apparently look like is in it, so maybe they might want to check it out.
Yeah, my I think it was my mom said that I looked like Wyatt Russell. So, not gonna talk to her for a while.
I don't know, dude. I'm looking at you underneath this colorful
Here we
mood
go
light,
again.
and
Here we go.
dude,
Stop.
I'm getting Place Beyond the Pine vibes from you, dude. I could see you on a dirt bike
You gonna fucking
with
cool
a
it?
tattered white T-shirt, coming to fucking rob me.
How about you cool it with the homosexual remarks? I'm not talking about Sri Lanka. Yeah, I think that's all we got.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we still need to finish the Before trilogy.
Yeah, we do. We do.
Unless you just don't want to.
No, I do. We got it. We're fucking packed full, dude. We got the Before trilogy. We got to start watching some fucking Christmas movies so that the Jolly Scoop will start making some goddamn sense.
Yeah,
we got to finish Dark.
Yeah, we got to finish Dark, but also this week, The Boy and the Heron comes out. So we'll have to watch that. We still need to see Saltburn.
There's no force on this earth that's going to stop me from watching The Boy and the Heron.
Wonka comes out on the 14th. Aquaman 2. The Iron Claw. We're fucked. We're fucked.
Sounds like
We're seeing The Abyss Wednesday.
Yeah. Sounds like we're going to have to put our fucking big boy pants on, dude.
Start pounding ass.
Yep. Gonna have to.
By pounding ass, I mean staying in the house and watching movies.
Yeah. Oh no.
That's my version of pounding ass.
You just sit down, crack your knuckles, like time to go to work.
Start fucking stretching my toes.
Yeah.
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 Getting ready for cinema. But yeah, hopefully we can start getting in some jolly movies.
Yeah. We'll try.
That's the plan. I need to see Michael Shannon in The Night Before.
Only in the present, kid.
That could be oregano.
That could be oregano. All right.
All right. See you guys next week on the Jolly Scoop.
The Jolly Scoop.